So last week we talked about blogging. This week we move on to microblogging. As the name suggests, microblogging is blogging made tiny. In particular, this week we're going to look at Twitter, which is one of my personal favourite social media platforms. Twitter is like my virtual office. We're also going to talk about personal learning networks. Twitter and personal learning networks are topics that go hand in hand, especially for information professionals. On Twitter, there is a robust network of library and information management people who engage with each other around professional topics on an ongoing daily basis. Personal learning networks are about making connections that help you to learn informally. As we embark on our discussion around personal learning networks, I thought I would kick things off by telling you a little bit about mine. I've been a user of Twitter since 2006, I think, so a very long time now. And I've built up a network of people that I follow from a variety of different fields. I follow lots of librarians, information managers, knowledge managers, consultants in information work, but I also follow people from higher education, educational technologists. I also follow major technology news outlets, and some people I follow just because they're my friends or I have a personal professional connection with them and I want to see what they're up to. My personal learning network is quite deep and it's quite big. I say deep because it has been built over very many years, and I have built personal relationships with the people in my personal learning network. Although we might have started out as people who just knew each other online or just saw each other at conferences, these people have become key parts of my professional and personal life. While obviously not everyone in my personal learning network is going to be my BFF, I have made really good friends and found really good collaborators through my engagement with the personal learning network on Twitter. Here's just one example. Quite a few years back, just as I was getting started with my PhD, I kind of met someone on Twitter who was interested in a similar area of research as me, and who I'd kind of met once or twice at conferences but really didn't know. We started to collaborate on a paper for an international conference, and at that point we'd really only had kind of one face-to-face discussion where we caught up over coffee one morning before a conference. So we went forward with this collaboration, and 4 years later, this person has worked with me for 2 years and has been one of the most important people in my support network as I've completed my PhD. But it's those personal interactions with people that have made the network stand the test of time. I consider the people in my personal learning network, some of them at least, to be my friends, and they are people that I really value in both my personal and professional lives. Now, not all engagement in a personal learning network happens in Twitter, and in fact, not all engagement in a personal learning network happens online. For me, it does because I work remotely a lot, so I spend a lot of time at home making videos, writing lectures, writing articles, doing things that are quite solitary work and that don't particularly go hand in hand with bumping into people in the corridor in an office. It's much easier to lock yourself away at home and write a thesis than it is to sit in an open plan office. Because I'm not in those spaces on a day-to-day basis, it means that I miss out on some of that incidental conversation. So it's really important to me to have a robust personal learning network in Twitter because those people are my office buddies during the day. While many of the people in my personal learning network blog, over the years we've kind of stepped back from blogs a little bit. We still have this thing that a bunch of us do every year, which is called Blog Every Day in June, in which we, unsurprisingly, attempt to blog every day in June. This is a really nice annual thing that we do that I guess kind of takes us back to where some of those deep connections really started on our blogs. And I have really enjoyed contributing to Blog Every Day of June over the last 4 years, I think it is. although I did dismally fail at blogging every day this year. So we've interacted in these other spaces before. We go back to them for this kind of annual blogging thing, but we tend to have these conversations now in places where the contact is immediate and quick, and we're focused on getting out clear and concise ideas. So this week we want you to begin building your very own personal learning network. Your peers who are on the unit site with you are members of this network already. Obviously you'll connect with some people better than you connect with others, but it's really nice to know that we're starting out here as a cohort together. We're also going to attempt to let you benefit from our personal learning networks by crowdsourcing suggestions for people you should follow. So over the next few days, you'll see Kathleen, Sarah, and I tweeting from both the unit Twitter account and our own Twitter accounts, asking the people in our personal learning networks to make some recommendations for who you should follow as you're starting out with Twitter.